So the big question is this: how do most agents who struggle to get the information that most successful agents hoard to themselves grow and prosper without this information? That's the big question, and this video cast is the answer. Welcome to Real Estate Rockstars. I'm your host, Pat Hyben. Congratulations to the following brokers: Ameriteam Realty, Dunes Properties, Impact Real Estate, Long and Foster. Yeah, that's a big one. 11,000 agents. Plum Tree Realty, Real Estate Professionals, Realty Ohio, Remax Advantage, Remax Essential, and Agent Strong all have taken action and negotiated steep discounts on Rebus University's award-winning courses for all of their agents. If you want unpublished pricing for all of your agents like these brokers have done, go to hybendigital.com/teams or simply pick up the phone and text or call Catherine Brower at 843-749-9900. And now for the review of the day. Here's a review from Jen Garcia. 5 stars. First time tuning in and love the show. Things real estate agents must know and learn. Thank you, Jen Garcia. Keep the comments coming, guys. I love them. And remember, I eat feedback for breakfast. So give me a 1-star review if you want, or a 5-star review if you want. I don't care. And the more reviews we get, the better guests we get. So please, subscribe first and then leave us a review or wherever you're listening. All right, Rockstar Nation, I have a great returning guest, Mr. Josh Mente, one of my GoBundance brothers, and we were talking at the recent GoBundance conference, and he is doing some fascinating stuff with the way he's pivoting in this market, deciding after getting the lead, whether he should buy properties, flip them, whether he should list them, what he should do with every single lead, and he's doing some fascinating things, and he's always a great conversation, very intelligent dude when it comes to all things real estate. So I can't wait to get into this with him. So without further ado, Josh, welcome back to Real Estate Rockstars.
Pat, appreciate you having me back on, brother. Good to hear from you.
Hey, Josh, give everybody a little rundown on yourself so they get to know you a little bit better.
Yeah, so I'm in Baltimore, Maryland. I run a real estate team. Last year we sold 2017, we sold 325 homes. Nice. North of 60 million in production and north of 1.6 million in GCI. I also have a secondary business, which is a house flipping and investing business. Build a rental portfolio. So I'm kind of an active investor and also running a real estate team at the same time.
All right, cool. So nitty gritty here, 1.6 million GCI. What's your profit margin on that, Josh?
24%.
All right, so 250 plus another 150, so about 400 G's comes back to the Mente family. What about your flipping business? How's that going? How many flips are you doing? What kind of profits you getting on those?
Yeah, so we're running about a 15% margin off of the gross sale price. So we are doing about 18 to 24, depending on the year, in that as far as flips go, and we're amassing, somewhere between 5 and 6 rental properties. It seems to average out on an annual basis as well.
Wait a minute. So you're buying 20, flipping 15, keeping 5.
Yeah, basically, yeah, rough numbers, just round.
Average price on these that you're flipping out at?
On the out sale, we're in the FHA buyer realm for Baltimore. We're going to be anywhere from mid to high 100s to somewhere in the 4s as a maximum. The last couple we put on the market have been somewhere around 300,000.
So 15% on that's 45 grand. So you're looking to make $45,000 per flip.
we're
on
shooting.
average. Yeah.
Yeah, we're shooting for, and at the higher price points, the lower price points, the margins are the same, but the results a little bit different. When you average it out, we're looking to make about 30 to 40,000 per house net.
And a lot of people bitching and complaining about that, saying it's harder today. Do you agree with that, or you disagree?
Well, I agree that it's always a harder conversation or a pivot point, right? So you change with the market, you change your marketing plans. You know, if you'd asked this question, I was on your podcast in 2012, I would have told you all I do is forge relationships with REO agents, give them a call, offer them both sides of the transaction, go out and take a look, and I can pluck them off as many as I can handle. But it's different today. The MLS, as far as I'm concerned, is dead. I don't really look at it because there's so many people competing for it that the properties are actually selling at a much higher multiple or much higher number than probably it should trade at. And it's just not a good use of my time. So we are full on into direct mail marketing, just using postcards, trying to reach out to sellers with pain points that we can help.
That's a fascinating statement that you make. Very controversial too. The MLS is dead. I actually, and I think that is interesting in more ways than one. I had an agent that I was talking to last week from Florida that said a large builder, you know, obviously it's a builder pays their internal sales reps salary and bonuses or what have you. Their sales reps don't get paid on what's in the MLS, right? They have all their internal programs. So they got licensed, they got their brokerage license, went ahead and put them in the multiple list, a $500 co-op for houses between 5 and $1 million. And so where, a commission could be as much as say $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, coming out $500, and the agents weren't finding out till they actually walked in the properties and the buyer said, I love it. And then they found out the co-op was $500. And she was saying exactly what you're saying in other words. So I'm paraphrasing, but the MLS is dead. Like the co-op commissions, are out of the agent's control. Never really were in anyone's control other than the brokers, or maybe even a slight form of antitrust kept them in under a certain amount or at a certain amount. And so she didn't know how to handle it. And I think what you're saying here is, you know how to handle it. The way you handle it is create your own inventory. Elaborate on this for me. I don't want to be the only one talking here.
Yeah, for sure. Well, two parts to it. So the MLS being dead, I'm referring to actually being able to find properties with margins that you can actually operate and sustain actual flipping business, not something I'm just doing as a side hustle or a side hobby. Too many people are competing for it. So in that respect, it's dead. As far as the MLS goes, yeah, I mean, it's kind of always been like that when, who has the gold makes the rules. And right now we're more of a seller's market. So in reference to your builder, they're doing some things to generate, obviously probably should do it a bit different. So I think that, and I didn't want to sound like,
I think the point was you basically are relying on your own inventory. Right? You're saying the MLS is dead because you don't want to, he who has the gold wins, right? So you want the gold. Right. And so what is Josh doing today to get the gold?
So by design, what I want is not to go into something that's on the open market and deal with 100 different agents and investors. I want to find sellers to raise their hand that have some type of need or want or pain point. And when they raise their hand, it's basically a conversation around, trying to acquire property that is a value add opportunity. We're not looking to buy properties at discount and just turn around and sell them. It's truly making the city a better place. It's making neighborhoods better places and things like that. It's buying something that's been neglected for 40 years and doing a complete facelift like you see on Flip This House, putting it back on the market and selling it. So in that respect, what we're doing is trying to, we send postcards to them to get them to raise their hand. We get anywhere from 1% to 2% response rate, sometimes as low as a half, then we tweak it and we figure it out. But when we do that, there isn't as many people that they're reaching back out to. So the conversation when I'm sitting in the living room is a bit different, and I'm having it direct with the person who actually is selling the property. So you figure out a way to have conversation, build trust, gain rapport, figure out their needs more than anything else, and then just try and meet it.
Right. Okay. So let's start at the beginning. Where are you getting the leads from? Because I know you spoke recently about one thing that some agents are saying is dead, but actually is not dead, is direct mail. So tell me about your direct mail campaign. What are you doing? How many pieces? What's it say? Blah blah blah.
Yeah. So right now we're mailing 15,000 pieces out directly from our flipping business. But what's interesting is
15,000 a month.
A month, yeah. Sorry,
15,000 a month.
Yeah, it's running us about $5,000 to $6,000 in cost.
What are these?
So we have about 6 or 7 different postcards, and it depends on the different lists we build. We'll build some that are absentee landlords that have owned the property a certain number of years, and we'll actually mail to them directly.
These are postcards.
Postcards, yeah.
Yeah, they're typical cliches. We'll buy your house for cash. That sort of thing.
We've kind of gotten away from that a little bit, and it's more, it depends on the mail pieces, but each of them have a different message, and it's tailored to what it is specifically. If we're mailing to commercial properties, there's a message that's different because you're talking to people that own business, type mindset.
What's the theme of the message?
Basically, what you're saying is that we will buy your home, we'll help you out, we'll get you out of your situation, we will help you to get rid of your headaches. If we're talking to an absentee landlord, is a different message. Are you tired of dealing with, somebody calling, asking to change a light bulb, stuff like that, If it's probate, it's actually a letter we send as opposed to a postcard. And we have it handwritten, looks like it's handwritten on the outside, so it's more likely to be opened, and it's just more compassionate towards, we understand your situation, unfortunately you've lost a family member, going through some things, we're a complete solutions-based business. Please give us a phone call. We're more than happy to help you out with everything from estate sale, getting rid of furniture, leaving stuff behind, whatever you might need at this point in time.
I want you to think about the word toolbox. What is a toolbox? A toolbox is a box full of tools that you use to build something great. At Real Estate Rockstars, we've created our own free toolbox. So everybody that comes on the show as a guest brings a tool with them, and we plow them all into this toolbox, and we give it away for our viewing audience to basically use as they wish. Everything we put in there is an actionable item that can be downloaded, can be printed, can be used immediately. And we got things like scripts and dialogues, checklists for teams, checklists to keep agents accountable, referral forms that are filled out at settlement to get referrals by your buyers and sellers. Everything you can think of that you could use on a regular basis about real estate is included in this toolbox, and it's helping agents worldwide sell more houses and make their jobs a lot easier and processes much more efficient. And the thing is, it's absolutely free. All you got to do is go to hibandigital.com/toolbox or text the word toolbox to 444-999. That's toolbox 444-999. Do it now. So out of 15,000 letters and or postcards, how many responses are you getting per month on a potential listing?
About 100 to 150 sellers raising their hand.
So let's say 150 for even number. So that's 1%, right?
1%, yeah.
So 1% raising their hand. And then how many of those turn into, a physical face-to-face meeting, looking at the house, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. So we then, from those conversations, generally set about 20 to 30 appointments. So we're at about 10 to 20% depending on the month from the actual phone call to appointment. Now, that number will actually go up because as I've dove deeper into the side of the business over the last couple months, what I'm realizing is that what we've been doing is qualifying them out because we can't make sense of it as a flip opportunity or a rental.
I was going to say, that means 80% of people that raise their hand don't qualify. And are you saying that essentially they don't qualify for you to make your 45 G's off of you, for you to make your 15% off of? You're like, they don't qualify for that? Because if it was they don't qualify at all for anything, it just seems high.
Yeah, so it's for what our needs are, right? So some people call in and their house is beautiful and it's nice and it doesn't need any work, so it doesn't really fit what we're looking for, right? So what we've done is over the last several months, as I've dove deeper into the side of the business, is like realizing that we have to monetize this. And because we have a real estate sales team in a business, that we've indirectly discovered a tremendous listing lead source. And I'll give you an example. Last month, we had a dozen of these that we actually converted into listing appointments. We have 6 actual confirmed listings, and the other 6 are, you know, in the process of trying to decide what they're going to do. So from this one direct mail piece, we bought 4 properties, 1 rental, 3 flips, and actually you're going to have somewhere between 6 and 12 listings. For a $5,000 investment, it was pretty well worth it.
So don't look at them. Don't look at the percentages. Look at the actual results. So okay, and then how? Okay, so so your first goal is to flip it because the profit's the highest. I guess your second goal is to keep it and rent it, and then your third goal is to resale it, right?
Yeah, and the conversation and the script, for lack of a better word, is finding the win-win, right? So just going in and trying to figure out what bucket it fits in best. So I don't have a specific goal. Obviously, if we don't buy properties to flip, that business doesn't stay open. If we don't buy rentals, then we're not investing.
They're the one that gets a call first.
Correct. And
like your listing agents on your real estate team don't get the call first and then say, I didn't feel like listing it. Why don't you flip it? It's the other way around. The flippers get the call first. Then you consider it as a rental. Then the agents get it, right?
Correct, because I own both businesses, and we can shuffle back and forth between the two of them.
You can make a more money on the flip, obviously.
Yeah, yeah. And, you know, what happens in that is, you know, basically we developed a system to hot transfer. So we have these person live on the phone. So why hang up, transfer a lead, send it to an agent, you know, they're on appointment, this, that, the other. So basically what we have is a system there where we have it, and through a conversation where we realize that it doesn't fit any of the first 2 buckets, we ask a simple question. You know, Mr. Seller, Mrs. Seller, whatever it may be, you know, we're in a situation where we're looking for value-add opportunities. We think your property is in great condition. We do know a way for you to get top dollar for your property. Would you be interested in hearing about it? Yes, of course. Mm-hmm. And then you flip and you put your realtor hat on and you start talking about that, and you just kind of transfer the situation. But that hot transfer allows people, when they're in that frame of mind where they've picked up the phone, made the phone call, that we're trying to squeeze everything we can out of it at that very moment, because it's when their interest is peaked.
Yeah, you know, so you don't want to hang up and then have the agent department call back the next day, right? You want to walk them through it. You want to train your ISAs, right? Who's ever answering the phone, to take them all the way through the process, and then give them decision-making points along the way to say, hey, you know what, this would be better served. And then, so, you know, how do you talk me through like some of the scripts and some of what you train them to say and do, so that you don't lose it, so that you can keep them on the line, sort of like American Express or a credit card company where they flip you to a different department.
Yeah, so that first part of the script, you know, we're going through and we have 9 questions that we ask open-ended questions about. Everything from, you know, how much they're looking for to get it, what's the improvements you've made, tell me a little bit about why you're calling, you know, tell me a little bit about why you're looking to sell your home, tell me a little bit about your situation, tell me about what's most important to you. And then you get down to the last part, which is set an appointment. And by this, you've got enough information, hopefully built enough rapport in a 5-minute conversation, that then you can switch over to the other side of things when you know it doesn't work. Now, what we're going to eventually develop is hopefully cross-train people to be able to do both. So we're just going to set appointments and put people in living rooms and let them pivot in front of them and get a listing agreement signed, get a contract signed to buy to flip, or a contract to buy to do it.
Yeah, that's a tough one, because it is internally a conflict of interest in that, if you sign a listing, your fiduciary relationship is to get the most money for them. If you're signing to flip it, your idea is to make as much profit and buy it for the cheapest you can. I mean, how are you going to deal with that?
So yeah, of course, your fiduciary responsibility as an agent when you wear that hat is with the seller. So what we're doing is exhausting the other part of it first before we figure that out. Now, in that, part of that fiduciary responsibility comes in. We're not looking to buy a house that we could wholesale or not do anything to and put on the MLS and stuff like that. We're looking for truly neglected properties that we can actually put somewhere between $25,000 and $150,000 worth of work into, depending on the house. So in that, it's a needs discovery process. So sometimes people, we just bought a house that was going to tax sale 5 days from the phone call to our settlement. So sometimes their need isn't specific to, I have to get the most amount of money. It is, I need this thing sold before
I lose it all.
Foreclosed on. You know, so it just depends. And really, when you put other people's needs first and you really understand that and you're asking the questions, this is where we become a solutions-based company, right? So we can buy it, we can fix it. I also have a database of 800 investors. If you're looking top dollar to an investor, we might be able to find it by crafting different strategies, having investor or broker open houses and different things like that. And anywhere in the gamut, just tell me what your needs are and I can tell you what we can do, and we can work together to find out a solution that works best for you.
So I know Tim Rode, who you and I know both well. You at one point had an entire team of people that would go out and speak to people who wanted to flip houses, and those people would work. I believe it was on a 25% commission, meaning that of that 45,000 that you would get, or that 15% that you would get, that agent would get 25% of that. Right? Does that make sense?
Yep.
25% of the profit. Is that how you plan on paying your guys, or have you figured that out yet?
No, we're in the process of figuring out what that looks like as we try and figure out over the next 6 months joining the two forces together. But the theory and concept, and it'll be something depending on situations, it'll probably change 10 times till you figure it out. But really, I think what it is there's an opportunity that even if you go in and we're getting it for a flip, that you're an agent, we'll give it back to you on our team. You'll take 25% of the commission and relist it, or 35%, whatever the split is. That's an incentive. We'll also pay you basically not a finder's fee is not the right word, but a lead conversion fee. So you get money for setting an appointment or converting the appointment. For a rental, it'll be a flat fee. For a flip, it'll be a flat fee, and you have some skin in on the upside, getting the listing back that you don't have to work for, and you have a beautiful new home that usually sells in 7 to 14 days, priced right. Obviously, we know what we're doing with that. So I think that's kind of the model when you're an agent, that you're incentivized to do any of the three, not one over the other, because we really want what's best for the people that are sitting, that own the house, not trying to force it into a box of we have to buy all the houses or we have to list all the houses. But really coming from a place of true giving where we're trying to find the best solution for them, and having the sales force, their motivation align with that, putting other people's needs first and solving their problems is really what we want to do ultimately, and rewarding them.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so what else is new and exciting? What new technology are you using now, Josh?
Oh gosh, it seems like every month there's a new technology we bring in. We actually integrated Asana as a unified platform where we all communicate and do workflows through. So all of our business, from L10 meetings, like weekly meetings, all the way down to small things and interactions with agents on our team. As an example, when we list a property, there's different departments that have to communicate together to cohesively work as a team. We're getting everybody away from email and verbals and Post-it notes and all that kind of stuff. And this is a centralized point where everybody communicates either through conversations, tasking, and workflows. So it's been revolutionary in our business. So,
okay, so let's talk about this. First of all, what's L10?
Sorry. Level 10 meeting comes from a book called Rocket Fuel, Gina Wickman, that we've adopted into our business. And it's just basically a very same page meeting. You start with affirmations, tell me something good. Then you work your way all the way down through action items from the past that we work into our meeting. And then, okay, what are the issues that we need to work on to move our business forward? And at the end, a regroup, and it just rinse and repeat. So when we get back together, the resolutions that we work on this week or commit to doing, it's a check back that, hey, did you get this done? If no, why not? And if you did, great, pat on the back.
And now a word about Rebus University, the future of real estate training, from Buddy Blake of Wilmington, North Carolina.
Hey, Pat, this is Buddy Blake with RE/MAX Essential. It's been a little while since we talked. but I wanted to call you and thank you and your team at Rebus University. We did the Listing Agent University and Listing Specialist course. I did it myself months ago, and I will tell you that that was one of the most informative systems I've ever done. It is meat and potato stuff versus the theoretical bullcrap that you see people say and do, and certainly you go to all these conventions and people show you all these whiz-bang new ideas. This was real in the trenches stuff, and I use it myself, and you may not even know it, but we use it for my team. I have a team of about 10, and before I allow buyer agents to take on new listings and become listing agents per se, be able to do listings, they are required to go through this course. Also, we've expanded it out. I have 5 RE/MAX offices, and we've got over 100 agents in our company, and a good percentage of them are now taking this course as a training program, especially new agents that we onboard that are brand new into our system. We require them before they can go on their first listing appointment to take and pass this entire course. It is the best thing that's out there right now.
If you're interested in your agents having a better close ratio than any other agent competing in your market, go to hybendigital.com/teams to get group pricing. Get every one of your agents certified like Buddy Blake does. And then how do you work that into Asana? Do you have a secretary or someone typing in, or is everyone typing in, or isn't Asana like a project thing?
Yes.
Isn't Slack better for just communication and Asana better for projects?
Correct. So what we're not looking for is this true communication platform. But if you really think about it at its core, all of these things are little mini projects. Getting a listing on the market is a little mini project in itself.
True, right? Every sale is a mini project.
Yeah. Yep. And being able to communicate together in that project. We use Glip for basically what we would use Slack for, where we can communicate.
What is it? Glip?
Glip, yeah. It's it's just a messenger service. That kind
GLIP.
GLIP, yep. Which is tied in with our Ring Central phone system, so it works well. People are going there for text messaging and phone calls and glipping, so it all works, interconnected.
Have you used Voxer, or is anybody using Voxer, you know?
I have our business coach uses Voxer. So, basically the difference for us is, Vox is more like, hey, I'm sitting there in my car and I want to record a message and send it to you. And then you can reply back. I mean, it's deeper than that, but that's the major.
Kind of like slide dial in a sense, right? So you just don't, I mean, nobody wants to talk anymore because it for whatever reason, it's too personal, I guess. But it's simpler to, a lot of times, right, to speak words and explain things than it is to sit there and text them out,
yes.
Or email them out.
I mean, texting by its nature is inefficient, I believe, right? So texting for me is, I'm running 5 minutes late. Hey, where are you? See you on Saturday. It's not, let's have conversations, because that conversation that, lasts over an hour could have been taken care of in 3 minutes with a little bit of connectivity.
It's certainly faster to call or to Vox, right?
Yep.
Yeah, but nonetheless, people get annoyed by it, right? I can't tell you how many people I've called and left messages on their machine, whatever you want to call it, on their phone, and it just says, if you really want me, text me. Almost saying like, I don't check this.
Yeah, so, we're in a world where everything is just coming at you 100 miles an hour. And so I get it on one hand and I lose it on the other. Does that make sense, right? I get it, but there's a balance in all of it. So for me, like what I've been able to do that's increased productivity in the last 2 or 3 years is get away from email, get away from text, in the sense of not having it binging and dinging all day and you just become a slave to it in a drone. It's at designated times, my emails come over, I have them paused that go into a side folder with this app called Inbox Pause, and it dumps back into my main email at 8:30 in the morning, noon, and 5 o'clock. So I check my email for the most part when it comes over.
Okay, let's slow this down. I like this. Inbox Pause, right? This is an app you put on your computer or
Yes, it's a Gmail add-on.
Gmail add-on, Inbox Pause, and it basically it avoids that temptation where you see those numbers accumulating at the bottom of your screen, a little window or whatever that says 15, and you're like, let me check those real quick. So
And that compulsion is real, right? You're like, oh God, I can't stop thinking about it. I need to check those 15 emails, right?
It's easier, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's easier than the task that's most important, right? It's essentially saying, okay, focus on your biggest domino that you want to knock over, and I'm gonna withdraw all other temptation from you, right?
Yep.
And so it purposely pauses that, and then what happens? So at 8:30, it spits out 30 emails.
Yep.
And then you go through them all, you delete them, whatever, and then it won't do it again till 12:15.
You can have a dump on the hour every 15 minutes. This is the way I do it, So it's very customizable. And Pat, I'll say it like this. If you were at home all day and the mailman came and dumped your mail into your mailbox, you wouldn't every 3 minutes open 2 pieces of mail and 2 minutes later open another piece. You efficiently open it all, figure it out, you move on, right? It's the same thing with email. Figure out a way that you efficiently put it in your day. You take those 30 emails, instead of having scattered out and distracted, and distracting you from what you really need to do, you open the mail and you check it and you reply and you send off and boom, boom, boom. 5 minutes later, I burned through 30 emails. I'm good. I'm done. Don't have to go back there till 5 o'clock.
And you know what I'm finding too is a lot of them, when they carbon copy other people on your team, if you wait, right, till 5 to open it, and you open it, 4 or 5 or 2 or 1 person may have already responded and answered the original person's question, right? The issue's resolved.
Exactly. And this is where Asana comes in, where you have that platform that you can have those types of communication directed to the right people, and the trail history of it all centralized in one spot, not in an email in somebody's inbox. So they all tie together, and this is all designed by efficiency. Our number one goal is to get our people away from email, not from not having email, but from using it as a crutch or a lead flow, or not lead flow, a task flow management system. Because as you're trying to deal with those tasks, other ones are piling up on it. And it's just a natural distraction as a human being that you kind of want to see what's going on with things.
No, I love that. I love that. Cool, man. Anything else technology-wise? Any apps on the phone, that sort of thing?
I realize I'm on my phone too much. I was out at GoBundance mastermind event, and there's when we came back, I think it was Mario sent out a message about this thing called Moment, which actually shows you how many times you open your phone, the duration, how many hours you spend on the day, and it just runs in the background. So it's kind of look at it. It's pretty amazing. If I open mine up right now, I've already been on my phone for 2 hours today. Now, some of it isn't actually like me on the phone, but I first opened my phone at 8:01 this morning, then again at 8:10, at 8:37, at 9:20, at 9:29, and not again until 11 o'clock. And then there's 11 minutes, 6 minutes. What it does is aggregate the time, which says to me, God, am I really, like there was a day where I had 6 hours and I was on my phone. I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? I'm becoming that person, like
that guy.
Yeah, exactly. It just brings it
guy, right? Or
yeah.
Person. Yeah. I mean, and what I like about that, and by the way, guys, it's called Moment, free app, right?
Free app. Yep.
Yep. Free app. And is that it told Josh the times. It was like 8:09, 8:13, 8:31. That in and of itself made it feel like, damn, dude, really? Why do you keep checking it, right?
Yeah, what are you checking, right? And I could probably go back and I'd be able to reason or justify my way out of why I'm opening my phone.
Yeah. But a lot of it's boredom. I love watching people nowadays, waiting for something, whether you're at a store or anywhere, a bus, a train station or whatever. The instant protocol is just to look down at your phone and try to do something on your phone, because even if you have nothing to look at, you know what I mean? Just to avoid that dull space of not having something to look at. Does it make, you know what I mean? It's like.
So, what's interesting? I heard that Facebook, how many times a day do you think the average app user opens Facebook from their mobile phone a day?
3.
32 times.
Wait a minute. 32?
From, if it's a credible source, documented in an article from Facebook directly, 32 times.
That's nuts.
Right? But it's, if you're at 32 stoplights, let me see what's going on. Okay, it's green, you know?
I hate that. I see people at stoplights and stop signs, and you ever look over and you look at them and you're like, yeah, they're checking their Instagram. Look at that, or they're checking their Facebook, and you can totally see what they're doing, like checking people out. Should I friend them? Stuff like that, and it's like,
right?
It's like, really, you know? I mean, I don't.
Absolutely.
That definitely out of control, and it's definitely unproductive, I think, to a large degree, unless you're doing what Chantel Ray teaches, which is, Facebook stalking, which is, as an agent, you purposely and aggressively go onto Facebook and only deal with people that are pregnant, graduating from high school, graduating from college, getting married, stuff like that, and then everybody else gets blown off, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Life-changing people only that want to buy or sell a house. Other than that, it does tend to become social not working, you know.
Absolutely. You know, it is, and everybody has different methods, you know, but you can't do them all. So you just find whichever one works for you. Find that megaphone, find that voice, and just get after it, you know. So that's why we don't have PPC going with, at least for the flipping business, like, let's focus on direct mail, become masters at that, you know, and you find your megaphone, and that's just the way that it goes. And after you master it, you layer it again, you know?
Yeah. I think you're smart. I think that I know that a lot of people in the flipping business, tons of them, and a lot of them are trying to, you know, go with the Facebook ads and the ad campaigns online, and the funnels, rather than the old-fashioned direct mail. And, you know, obviously you've proven today that that's not dead, man. That there's a huge benefit in the old school, especially when you're dealing with older houses, right? And I mean, think about it. If you get mail now, do you look at it, right? I think that we went through a phase where we didn't, when we got too much mail, and now we don't get enough mail, so we're starting to look at it again.
Yeah, we'll also know your target audience, right? So, like, when we set this, one of the campaigns we run, absentee landlords, so investors, somebody who owns a property, doesn't live there, 45 years or older, has owned the property 10 years or greater. Those people, by nature, 45 or older, do you think that they're going to take a Snapchat from me? Do you think that they're going to take, they'll maybe Facebook, but they're not going to do Instagram, right?
They're not going to, yeah, right.
But they're going to open their mail, because that's what they're used to doing.
Right.
Reach them where they are.
Right. Get them where they are, you know, where their time is silent. Yeah. I love that, dude. Okay. So, Josh, as you know, everybody that comes on the show brings a free gift, right? And we have a toolbox, and we have, you know, tons of stuff in there, of what agents have dropped off. It's usually a PDF, something they could use in their business on a day-to-day basis. What's your free gift you're bringing on today?
So I think that I can definitely do something as simple as a PDF, which might be a postcard that's working for us in context of what we're talking about here.
Yeah, dude, I'd love any copies of any of your marketing. I'd really appreciate it. That would be an awesome gift, Josh, to the universe out there, the Rockstar Nation. Guys, I'm going to put this on hibandigital.com/Josh Mente, and here's its MENTE. Josh Mente 2, the number 2, because Josh came on before. Josh Mente, the number 2. All the apps, everything that we've talked about today will be on there. All of this information will be on there. If you guys want to send any referrals out to a guy that's killing it in the Baltimore City, Baltimore County, Maryland area, he's your guy. And so Josh's information, his email, phone number will be on there. And we will take some of these marketing postcards, and we will put them in his show notes, and we will put them in the Agent Success Toolbox, which can be found on hibandigital.com/toolbox. Or, of course, you can always just text the word toolbox to 444-999. Josh, I know you're heading to Charleston in a few weeks for the Boomtown Conference, buddy. This is my hometown now, so look me up, and we'll definitely get together and break some bread with some fellow boomers.
Absolutely, my friend.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Real Estate Rockstars. If this free content is giving you a ton of value, I want to ask a small favor in return. I need you to pull out your pointing finger and hit the subscribe button. Yes, hit subscribe, please. The more subscribers that we get on Real Estate Rockstars, the better guests are attracted to the shows. We'll get more guests from the top companies, from the top teams, and even more celebrity guests like Robert Kiyosaki and Barbara Corcoran. Also, if you're not a member of our free Facebook group, go to Real Estate Rockstars Radio right on Facebook and join the conversation. I'm on there myself on FaceTime Lives, and we have a lot of communications and questions about the show, and I'd love to see you there. And it's free. People ask me all the time, where am I on social media? I'm real easy to find. Just type in my name. My IG is I am Pat Hyben. It is blowing up on Instagram, adding tons of subscribers, and I'm on there probably twice a day. So definitely follow me on Instagram, as well as everywhere else. Thanks again for listening, and keep rocking.